This is the podcast that we ask our guests from in front and behind the camera, how did they get their foot in the door? What was the key to unlocking their success? What's their story?
Welcome to a Roadhouse special episode. We're talking about the Doug Liman remake of the 1989 classic starring Patrick Swayze. This new version stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Daniela Melchlor, Billy Magnussen and Connor McGregor, among many more. Join us as we talk to some of the cast not only about the making of the movie, but how did they get here? What's their story?
Before we start, do you have insurance?
What?
Your coverage good? Like, you have dental?
Oh, haha.
Is there a hospital nearby? Is it, like, too far?
About like 25 minutes, I'd say.
I just slapped you. Are you all right?
What?
So you like to fight? You ever win?
No one ever wins a fight.
I'd like to ask, my podcast is usually about, how people start and where your love of acting came from, growing up in Portugal. How did you get involved in acting in the first place?
I had drama classes since I was very, very little. And I remember being that girl in class that is like very skinny, never had a boyfriend, never had a lot of attention. And whenever I would get on stage, I would be the funny one. And I would feel, now everyone listens to me. Now I can have attention. Okay, I can, Then I grew up and I had to choose a subject to study because in Portugal, as soon as you go to high school, you need to study to choose an area, like if it's like maths, if it's like more like letters, like literature and everything. And I chose a professional acting course. And as I was studying acting for those 3 years of high school, I booked my first role on between soap opera and TV series. It's called telenovelas. And I started seeing this passion more from the psychological side of it, and falling in love with the craft and with the industry and everything. Yeah.
But I became aware of you from Suicide Squad. And, obviously feel like with the Fast and Furious and all these other films. But I didn't realise correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been doing it 10 years acting.
Yeah.
I was like, she's suddenly in all these massive films, but then you look at your IMDb and you're like, you've been working for ages. And it's so great to see when someone's career like blossoms like that. When you got and put into the Suicide Squad, what was that like? I mean, was that a gear shift in your career? Did it feel like a change?
For sure, because honestly, if that didn't happen in my life, I really felt it like a gift from the universe. Because if it didn't happen, I would be still fighting for respect as an actress, and especially as a young women actor, I would say. Yeah. So that for me, it was like, I don't know. I really felt that as a gift and a big shifting in my life, yeah.
This ain't the Holiday Inn, pal.
I'm moving.
A friend of mine suggested I come talk to you. I own a roadhouse out in the Florida Keys. Lately, it's been attracting the wrong clientele. I can pay you good money. Judging by your car, you need that.
Well, I like my car.
Think about it.
I am a huge fan of this film. I love the original, and I love this as well.
Amazing.
How did you get involved in this project first off?
So first I received the script, but I didn't have a lot of expectations because I loved the script, but at the same time, she wasn't supposed to be from Portugal or anything like that. So for me, I loved it. I told my team, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I'm not reading it more than once because I don't want to fall in love with this and then it doesn't go how I would love to. But then I had a Zoom with Doug Liman and Joel Silver where they had the opportunity to hear me reading going through the scenes and running it with Doug. And I felt, and they told me like, this could work, but at the same time, we need to see because she's supposed to be I can't remember if it was like Latin American, but living in the United States for many years. It wasn't clear, but it wasn't Portuguese at all. Then I had a Zoom meeting with them, but with Jake as well, because one thing is like she's good for it, but then now we need to put Jake on the mix and to see if it works, you know. And it was very natural. It was very spontaneous, and we had that connection, that easy connection. And yeah, we didn't have to work as much on the chemistry part and everything, and it just went smoothly, just like this morning.
Smooth. I mean, yeah, the character's brilliant, and it's such a great role in the actual story itself. But were you a fan of the original? Were you familiar with that? Was there any sort of looming shadow thinking, oh, we've got to live up to this? Because the film really is its own thing.
Yeah, I've watched the movie once many years ago, and then I rewatched a few times before the shooting. But at the same time, my character doesn't even have the same name. One thing is Elizabeth, one thing is Ellie. My version, it's not even a version because it's not the...
So different.
You know, it's very different. I would say that it's they're different characters. Dalton is the same character, but Ellie doesn't have anything to do with Elizabeth. And for me, it was really a fresh take on it. And the fact that she's super independent, she's a badass, she's very smart because she's a doctor. Even though we didn't see her on the movie, she knows how to flirt. But yeah, Dalton didn't give her that opportunity. And I love the fact that it doesn't go on the path that everyone would be expecting to, like for them to be together in the end and everything.
It is so different. I didn't actually even make the connection that your character was in the original even. I didn't think of them as the same thing. They were so different.
I'm glad.
Yeah. But it surprised me how funny it was as well. I didn't expect it to be so funny. And I mean, obviously the action and everything else is great. And you get to do a couple of, you're driving a speedboat in this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of big stunts in this movie. How was that part for you being involved in like an action movie like that?
It was amazing because I started with Ratcatcher 2 in this type of movie, and luckily maybe it didn't require a lot of physical work. For this one, it was a good beginning because now I want to explore more of that. Now I feel stronger because I'm thin, I'm petite, I'm a girl. But at the same time, I really felt, and even the stunt coordinator, he was very surprised that he could really feel. I mean, I received the fight buckle or something, like a buckle, but from the stunt department. He really said, you were a badass during the shooting, so you deserve the fighting buckle. So nice. I was proud about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some amazing, amazing scenes in this. And I don't want to really talk too much about what happens in the movie. I don't want to give it away for anyone that's listening that hasn't seen it.
Okay, nice.
But is there a chance there might be any more, like a sequel perhaps? Because it feels like it leaves it open.
Yeah, I heard about it, and the other day I was talking with Connor about that possibility, because of course we're the ones who decide about that.
Of course.
And we were talking about the possibility. I was just telling him, so imagine this, so Dalton leaves. I don't want to give away too much. So imagine, without saying what happens in the end of the first one, imagine a parallel reality where Ellie and Knox just get together.
That would be a great sequel, yeah.
I would love it, and because why not? She has a very particular taste for men, and Knox is problematic, so it goes well with her daddy issues, I think.
Tell me about this bouncer. He acts all nice, like he's Mr. Rogers or something, but then he'll haul off. Really interesting guy, overall.
You've done comedy, drama, all these things. Played real people. When you started out, what was the intention? Like, did you ever believe you would be where you are now? And where did that love come from?
Sorry,
there's a few
questions.
Comment.
Yeah, there's a few questions, but it also gives me pause to look at it, where you are now, because I don't know if you ever feel it. there's this, is it enough? You're always fighting. Always fighting for enough. And, you know, it's a really... As I've gotten older, I'm trying to take down the facade we were talking about. It's a very selfish industry, especially as an actor. You're always like consumed by yourself and like how can I make myself grow and whatever like that. But when I started, I guess selfishly, it was I just wanted to experience things. I was a jock in high school, and I ripped a hamstring and I couldn't take a gym class, so they put me in theater class, and I had so much fun just doing it. Then I had a teacher that I thought I was going to go like a local university close to where I grew up in Georgia, and I had this teacher, mentor, that was like, she said, go to audition for the school, not realizing it was like a massive conservatory in the States, like a highly acclaimed one. Got in, and then it kind of just snowballed, like this career, like it just... Fortunate. I remember when I went first time to New York City after college, it was like the showcases where you try to get agents and shit like that. And the first day I did my stuff, and no one called. Not a casting director, not anything. And then the second day we did, and one guy was like, hey, I like your shit, you know. His name was Charles Bodner. And that belief and faith and support that I received from him has made all the difference in my career. He really started that just to get out there. But sorry to answer go back to the question you actually asked. I realized there was an opportunity with acting to learn things, because you're always putting yourself in new circumstances or situations, or looking at the world in a different perspective than your own. As you dive into a character, you know, like you just start researching and learning and discovering new things about the world out there that I never knew before, and also, you know, myself. So it's been kind of a journey of just discovering your own self-limits.
Mate, that's talking about the facade and everything else, like, fair play, and thanks for being honest, because that is a thing with actors and in this industry. It is kind of all about you, and it can be an ego thing, and most notably it normally is. But in terms of, I feel the same. Is it ever enough? And I've not done anywhere near as much stuff as you, but no matter what I do, the jobs I do, and it's always like, what's next? Yeah. And it's hard to stop and kind of appreciate what you're doing at that time or what you've got. Do you, I mean, you mentioned it slightly there, but do you have that problem where you can't stay present sometimes, where you...
No, well, again, the funny thing about acting, or at least how I've always approached it, you do all the research for your character or whatever, but when you're there, you have to be absolutely present, which has kind of messed up my life in a weird sense, because I'm so focused on the present a lot of times that building a trajectory gets lost. I forget to be like, oh, there's an end goal. I'm just being very, very present. And so, like, I don't know, it's a mixture of the two. I'm going off on my thoughts getting a little lost, because I was interested at a point you said before. It was about pulling the facade back, the selfishness. I think, you know, coming to 40, and actually talking about that guy, Charles, I realized the greatest gifts I ever had so far in my career were support from other people and belief and, you know, helping and assistance in a sense, a guidance or confrontation of like the truth. And that's kind of like the genesis of how Happy Bad Bungalow, my production company, came up. We're just artists helping artists. That's all we want to do. Is like, I know I've learned over the years that there's shit I'm really bad at. And I'm not really bad at, but there's other people that are brilliant, and they don't have the opportunity or the space or the invitation to come and like shine. And like our company specifically is about, elevating those voices or those identities. Not saying we can do it successfully, but we're giving our fucking darndest, Yeah, it's so weird, man, this industry. You break yourself down over and over again to, Phoenix rise out of the ashes in a weird way. That is so meta shit.
I know what you mean, man, because every part changes you a little bit. You take a little piece from everything you do.
Or does it take it from you?
Yeah.
There is a depletion I have felt over the years. And I've had, the fortunate opportunity to have a steady career. Mm-hmm. But yeah, every project takes just a little out of you. And
yeah, 100%. I don't want to make this about me, but
no,
it's
please.
my personal experience with a role that I had to lose 2 stone for, and I was the weight I am now. Yeah. So I got really, really thin. I got to under 9 stone, just under 9 stone. It was fucking crazy. Yeah. And it affected me for 2.5 years afterwards. And, that was just part of the way I did it. I didn't do it very... I probably should have had someone to help me do it, but... Yeah.
What did you do? Just stop eating?
No, I just didn't eat carbs for a long time, and then the film got delayed, and I was exercising, was running, and doing all these things, and the character was meant to be a dancer, so I was trying to dance at the same time, and I was doing all these things, and I got really, really thin, to the point where I was too thin. I ended up even breaking my hand and my wrist, I think 2 weeks before doing the film.
Fuck.
And so I didn't want to tell anyone. My hand was in a cast, and I thought, if I tell them, I'm going to get fucked. I'm the lead in this film, they're just going to, find someone else. And this was 2 years of waiting for this film to happen. And low budget independent film, I thought, I just can't tell them. So I remember going to the dance lessons, having to take it off and just pretend it was fine, and obviously not do anything where I was putting my weight. And it was just, after doing that film, the kind of, what it's like when you've got a project and you think, this is going to be the one that's going to help me get the next one. I didn't work for 2 years because the film was delayed and all this stuff. And it was the come down afterwards. That film really took not a piece, it took a chunk out of me. And it was years of recouping. Have you experienced doing a role where, it's kind of almost like I don't know, it's like it's like, I really kind of affected me mentally. So I had depression after that. And I got better once I got another role and I could move on from it. Yeah. Did you ever have a problem shaking roles sometimes when you've got so deep into them that you it's hard to get rid of that?
Yeah, of course. There's voices that
you're every time
they shut up in my head. It's always going off. It's tough to shut it off. I was talking to a castmate of mine last night. You ever hear this guy Daniel Bruhl? He's a great guy, Spanish-German guy, fantastic actor. But he was talking to some of his other mates.
Is he in Rush?
Yes, that guy from Rush.
Yeah, he's great.
But a great guy. And him and some other actors, and they were having a conversation, that every 5 years something shows up for you. In the interim, you gotta go hunt. But going back to, pieces that go away with you, or they take away from you, or stick with you. Yeah, they all stick with me to a point. Do you ever do the thing where you're lying in bed at night and you go, why the fuck did I do it that way?
A year later.
All the time. Yeah. All the time.
Even from auditions, or sometimes I'm muttering my lines that I've just done. I know I'm not going back in unless I get a call back. And you're muttering, you're like, shut the fuck up. What are you doing?
But you're torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself. That's the problem. You are, especially people that really put the effort in. You are changing yourself on levels that are deep, deep, deep. And I don't think people understand that. Or I think the talented people or people that really take this seriously, because it is an art form. And I actually, when I was in my 20s, I didn't think it was an art form. I was like, you just fucking say your lines, you fucking hang out, And then I slowly, again, having the opportunity to work with some beautiful people, and there's a change you shift in mentality, and there's a change in physicality. There's a change in spirit that happens with each project, and I don't know if you can shake it, but I think it sharpens you too as a person. You even become more specific, as yourself,
Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely. 'Cause,
Definitely.
I mean, I think, you know, you can, 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 you can,
I think it's I think as well over the years, the more different parts you do, obviously just life experience as well.
Yeah.
It all adds to the next thing you do, and it's kind of a build up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, this sounds really pretentious, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But
I just don't know. Like, to be honest, like, still, I'm like out here doing a project right now, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing next after that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's crazy. It's like I'm still like, well, then, I guess don't have a career after this job.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do I do next?
But I love that you've said that, because a lot of people like myself will look at you and think you're fucking working all the time, and he's got all these things lined up. Because you do have a career that people look at and go, fuck, you've done a bit of everything.
That's so. I'm like flattered that you say that.
And I'm not just saying that genuinely, because there's people that come on the podcast that I don't know much about, but I genuinely followed your career. And I'm a big fan, so like that is genuine. I'm not just like.
Thanks so much.
I'm British. I don't blow smoke. You know what I mean? Unless I want to. But yeah, no.
Do you know, like, it's so funny. Maybe this is like, I probably need therapy for it, but like you say that, and like for me, in my head, I still am like, fuck, I haven't done anything. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
I still feel that kid in New York at 21 going to like an audition, being like, God, I hope I make it. Like it's still in my head that way. It's weird. I don't know if that's like, come on, you have to have that. You've worked nonstop as well, and you go, what the?
It's one of those things that I think everyone thinks you're working when most cases most people are working, 20% of the time.
Yeah.
But do you still get nervous when you go? Obviously, you said there are auditions and stuff. When you get on set and you've prepped and you know what you're doing, but do you still get those nerves when you get on set and you're like,
oh
shit,
yeah,
I'm doing a new character that.
Who was I talking to? Burns. Burns. Now I can't think of his first name. Burns. He played my father in Maniac. I can't. Burns.
Oh,
he's Irish, right?
I know who you mean. I've got his face in my head. I'll do a little image.
You need the Google for the second brain. But anyway, he calls it like the first day of school, and he was just like, even him still, he's like, I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it freaks you out. Yeah, 100%. I just did a project Lilo and Stitch live action, and I play an alien inside my body, basically.
Take a piece of that one. That'll fuck you up.
And then, but like I'm coming to the first day of shooting with crazy ideas, character, the voice, the whole thing, and you're like, well, I get that insecurity was like the first time doing it in front of people. You're like, I'm gonna commit and see what happens. They kept it, but they kept it. No one was like, you're gonna do it that way.
So that's the actual.
So when do we shoot? That's how you're gonna do it? Yeah.
Well, I guess I always think, you think of like Heath Ledger in The Joker.
Yeah.
When he's playing the Joker, and you just think, the first day of him doing that, he's obviously incredible, but he must have been like, this is a big swing. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone thinks that, and then it becomes iconic. So it's but then there must be the ones that miss.
Yeah,
you just don't see them.
Think about all the projects you like or hate. Like, I want to just see something exciting, because it is an art form. Again, going back to that, like realizing it is something of an art form, and to like transcend yourself in a way, it's really cool. Or it's actually could be both verticals. You can transcend yourself, but also go deeper into yourself and uncover some other part of yourself that you were unaware that was there, and put that vulnerability out there.
It's therapy.
It's therapy. It is crazy.
When you think of the actual definition of an actor as well, it is absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Like, it is a crazy job.
Brand wants to take the Roadhouse away from me. He wants to build some resort.
I should warn you, people have a certain way of getting things done around here.
Hey, fellas. Looks like you're having a smashing night. Doggen! I got a tip for you. Don't let no one get this close. Come on, bro.
and I want to geek out a little bit.
Let's geek.
Because I'm a massive fan of the original Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Huge fan. So when I heard they were doing this, I was a bit nervous. I was like, please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck this up.
It's fucking awesome.
Is it? Oh, mate, I'm so excited.
It's the most non-Hollywood movie I've ever seen.
Amazing.
It is just it's just fucking awesome.
Once Knox is on the job, it's over, baby.
It takes a lot to get me angry, but when I am, I just can't let go. People seem a little aggressive around here.
I heard the director say it was his best film, which blows my fucking mind because he's done some great films.
I mean, Day After Tomorrow, like
yeah,
Live, Die, Repeat. What
yes, it had another name though, didn't it?
Yeah, that one, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He did Swingers. Like he's
so many. Born Identity.
Yeah,
like,
Doug Liman. We're talking about.
Yeah. For the audience,
who is awesome.
Yeah,
awesome guy. I would work with him in a heartbeat again.
I'm so glad that it's because I watched the trailer. I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna be great," and I was like, "Please be good." Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it, man. And I like. Are you playing like it looks like you're a bit of a villain in this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to say it, but...
Yeah, why not? It's a movie.
Yeah.
I play this character, Ben Brandt, who is trying to take down the Roadhouse. And
nice.
I quote unquote, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/lifeinfilm, where you'll get episodes early and uncut amongst other treats. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you enjoy this episode, please leave us a positive rating. Add us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Life in Film Pod, and find our video episodes on YouTube by searching Elliot James Langridge Life in Film. Essentially, please like and subscribe everything. It makes a huge difference. Thank you. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you work in the film industry? Are you freelance? Or perhaps you have a 9-to-5? No matter what you do, mental health affects us all. I struggled early on in my career with the uncertainty of if and when I would ever work again, struggling to pay my bills, or simply with anxiety. Don't know about you, but being an actor, it's very important for me to maintain structure in the downtimes, and I found not only exercise, but talking to someone, for me, was a game changer. And so Life in Film has partnered with BetterHelp to provide you with access to the largest online therapy service in the world. And it can all be done from the comfort of your own home, from a phone, tablet or laptop. No commute, cutting down travel costs, and most importantly, it's affordable. With over 1,000 therapists in the UK, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a wide variety of expertise in mental health. If you need someone to talk to and you're thinking of giving therapy a go, BetterHelp is a great option. And being a listener of the podcast, you get 10% off. That's 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/lifeinfilm. That's betterhelp.com/lifeinfilm.
If you'd like to hear more from Billy Magnussen, check out his in-depth episode on YouTube now. Thank you to our guests, and thank you to Premier Comms, Amazon Prime, and as always, thank you to our sponsor, BetterHelp.